And that's why gay pride parades take place in June. Hello and welcome to That Deacon on YouTube. I'm sure many of you might have seen mention that the month of June has been designated as Gay Pride Month. As a gay clergy person and an ordained deacon, I thought I'd share my history of past gay pride events, both inside and outside the church. Believe it or not, I found that many people, including many younger folk, are many times unaware of the embryonic beginnings of the gay rights movement sparking what became known as gay pride. Here's an encapsulated version. On June 23, 1969, Judy Garland died. From the mid-50s, the troubled actress and singer had become a gay icon. So the death of Judy Garland was the flashpoint for the beginnings of the gay rights movement, starting on that last weekend in June 1969. Here's a picture of Judy taken at her famous concert at Carnegie Hall. Just look at the audience. You'll notice that most of the people rushing the stage are men. On a Friday night, 5 days later, at the Stonewall Inn in New York City, a group of drag queens and other patrons of the gay bar in Greenwich Village were mourning Judy's death. After midnight, on an unseasonably hot Friday night, the Stonewall was packed with 8 undercover police officers ready to raid the gay bar. In addition to the bar's employees, police singled out drag queens and other cross-dressing patrons for arrest. In New York City at that time, masquerading as members of the opposite sex was a crime. Accounts vary over exactly what kicked off the riots, but according to witness reports, a crowd erupted after police roughed up a woman dressed in masculine attire who had complained that her handcuffs were too tight. People started taunting the officers and throwing pennies at them, followed by bottles. Some in the crowd slashed the tires of police vehicles. The uprising lasted hours, finally ending at 4 a.m. This was just the beginning of the beginning. Over the next several nights, gay activists continued to gather near the Stonewall, taking advantage of the moment to spread information and build the community that would fuel change. And that's why gay pride parades take place in June. My personal history with gay pride parades began by accident. When I was in high school, a buddy and I drove into Hollywood to check out a small 99-seat theater because he wanted to produce a play. After a tour of the building, and as we walked out to Hollywood Boulevard, we saw a group of drag queens marching down the street with signs reading something like, "Gay Rights Now," or something like that. We then made our way back to the car and drove home. It was not until years later at a Pride festival that I learned that my unexpected encounter was more than likely one of the first pride parades held in Los Angeles. In my 15 years living in West Hollywood, I watched the parade's growth. I witnessed the parade lose its impact as a vehicle for liberation. The Pride Parade made a positive impact during the fight to defeat the Briggs Initiative in California. This proposition would have barred gays and lesbians from teaching throughout the state. The parade was helpful during the AIDS crisis of the 1980s. And I feel the parade was helpful during our struggle for marriage equality. As the movement worked its way through the trials and tribulations of equality, I have at times been disappointed that, for the most part, many people attending the parade and festival see it as one big superficial lust fest, having nothing to do with the struggles of acceptance and equality. My interest in the parade was revived, however, after I became involved in GLBTQ ministries within the Episcopal Church and my parish. Before I continue with my stories, it might be a good time to remind those of you watching that I truly appreciate your interest in this channel and all things diaconal. For those who are new subscribers, welcome. If you are visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. If you click on the bell icon, you will receive an email with new content when it's made available. Don't forget to click the like button too. It helps with channel growth. And lastly, your comments are always welcome. I'm not sure what cities you are from, but here in Southern California, most larger cities or counties have their own parade and festival. Up and down the state, parades and festivals abound, but I will only speak of 3. When I was a member of St. Wilfrid of York Parish in Huntington Beach, we would take part in the parade held in Long Beach, organized by St. Luke's. When I became involved in what I think used to be called the Commission on Gay and Lesbian Ministry at the diocesan level, a group of us from my parish would take part in joining many churches around Southern California at the Christopher Street West Parade in West Hollywood. In Long Beach or West Hollywood, each parade appearance began with a street Eucharist. It was a very good way to approach our presence at the parade. One way it was helpful was the obvious connection between people of other parishes joined in a common cause as one community of faith. It helped to enable and support community as we all marched down the street to call others into solidarity as well. Many times our parade entry would include either our bishop diocesan or one of our suffragan bishops. Once I was ordained, for a number of years, I was asked by St. Luke's to serve as deacon at their Eucharist on the Bluff, held in Long Beach. It was always an honor to serve in this capacity. On the traditional level, it warmed my heart to serve with a bishop in the role of deacon because traditionally it is said when you see a deacon, you will most times find a bishop. Prior to the service, we would gather at the home of one of St. Luke's parishioners, which was within walking distance of where we would gather for the parade and the Eucharist service. Now, in the case of Bishop Diane, I have to share that her husband had been my spiritual director for a number of years. Right after she was elected bishop, she and her husband attended my diaconal ordination because I asked Steve, her husband, to preach at the service. So I had a bit of a connection with Bishop Diane. Now, I share this information because prior to the service, she came up to me to say, "Honey, can you hide my purse?" Well, after the day was over, I went on Facebook to share that request, saying, "I never thought I would ever hear a bishop in the church call me honey, and I never expected to be asked by a bishop to hide their purse." I'm happy to say that the post was greeted with laughter and thumbs up, and Diane cracked up too. After this incident, when Bishop Diane would come and visit the parish where I served, it seems from that point forward, I was deemed the bishop's perpetual purse monitor. At that time, we had 2 suffragan bishops, so our second suffragan, Bishop Mary Glasspool, led the diocesan presence at the parade as well. And again, I was fortunate to serve as deacon at the parade Eucharist. As all of us were making our way to the lineup starting point, I was fortunate to snap this picture of Bishop Mary and her wife, Becky, as they walked down the street. Isn't that a cute picture? I don't know about you, but I still think it's cute. Now, showing support for GLBT people of faith. Even after I had moved from Orange County, I would make time to travel to the festival to donate a day at the Episcopal Church booth. For a couple of years, I found out that I was the only clergy person present at the booth. One of the advantages of putting together the National Coming Out Day service was an opportunity to know many GLBTQ Christians, Episcopalians. So giving my time to hang around the booth to answer questions or show support was easy, as I knew many of the people involved. One year, both our suffragan bishops made an appearance in Orange County. And since then, as far as I know, local OC clergy have finally stepped up and made sure that they are active and involved. Now, people march in the parade for different reasons. One time, a few years back, when I was taking part in the parade in Long Beach, I grabbed my video camera and asked people why they march. I thought you'd like to see and hear their thoughts.
I'm marching because you gotta give them hope.
Why am I marching today?
because I want you to know that God loves you, and there's a church that welcomes you. No matter who you are, we have a place for you.
I'm marching because I love to see everyone get together and show their
We're
pride.
marching for social justice and equality. 34 years of an engagement is long enough. Can we get married yet?
I'm marching for justice and equality too. I'm with the 34 years guy.
I'm marching because I'm a grandmother. I love all my grandchildren, and I believe God loves all his children too.
We need to celebrate everyone and show that everybody's in this together and show that we're all human beings, we're all loved by God, and because it's fun.
We're marching today to represent the Episcopal Church of Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Diocese, and to demonstrate everyone how much we love God and to share our pride in today's beautiful day.
Today in 2021, I tend to flop back and forth on the need or the viability of a pride parade. California protects LGBTQ people in the workplace, and marriages are recognized. Trans people can change their birth certificate, and there are a bunch of other protections governed by law as well. Other than one big party, are pride parades a thing of the past? Are pride parades useful? For the most part, younger people have had the opportunity to grow up in a much more open and accepting atmosphere. Do they need a parade to help them grow and feel accepted? My guess is, in time, people might feel there is no need to promote pride as a valid movement. Should the Episcopal Church take part in parades and festivals? I would say yes. Not to think our presence as a theological argument against more conservative Christians, but to make known that we as Episcopalians stand in solidarity with people so they can know us by our love, that all people are created in the image of God, and that we are in communion with humanity, and that we are willing and excited to meet people just as they are. And for that, it is a good and valid reason to participate. That's all I have for you this month. I hope you enjoyed this Pride overview. By all means, feel free to comment. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up or maybe share it with other people. Until next time, this is Anthony Keller, that Deacon on YouTube, saying God bless and so long for now.